Very soon, new Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, as well as a sponsor in the Senate, will be putting forward their Green New Deal legislation. And we don't yet have the bill, we don't know exactly what's in it, but some details have been released. And so we have some quotes from Representative Ocasio-Cortez, as well as details on the plan. She said in a letter, "Next week we plan to release a resolution that outlines the scope and scale of the Green New Deal. In it, we call for a national, social, industrial, and economic mobilization at a scale not seen since World War II. So this is the sort of messaging around the issue that she has used for months now. I think it is not only factually responsible, I also think that it is important. We need to get people ready for the severity of this problem, not only in the challenge that we face in fixing it, but also as with dealing with World War II, getting to the moon, fixing the hole in the ozone layer, ending acid rain, these gigantic problems also came thankfully with a lot of benefits once we were done. So first of all, on the messaging, I know she has been mocked for comparing it to World War II. What do you think about that tact?
Yeah, Fox News headline, Ocasio-Cortez wants to create World War II. I mean, so it's pretty close, or World War III or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think that the New Deal framing is the strongest of the way that this topic is being talked about in terms of messaging, because the New Deal was an expansion of government projects, of government services, of the social safety net, and it allowed for created economic opportunity for people when there was this massive depression. And this is a similar thing where you're remaking the economy in the vision that would provide for a more sustainable future, and that requires government intervention. So it calls back to the New Deal, which Americans see positively. FDR is a popular president, and I like that. So I think that the reason that it's gaining so much steam and that 80% of registered voters see it so favorably and believe that it would be a good idea is because it harkens back to that time where government worked better for the people than it almost ever has in the entire country. And it did its job, and that was by basically expanding the economy through government intervention. Yeah,
at a time before industry had personally owned all of the politicians.
Right.
Yeah, by the way, I hesitate to even put this out there. Maybe it's already a thing. But as you point out, the Green New Deal is great framing. How have the Republicans not started calling it the Red New Deal yet? I don't want to put that out there.
Why
I don't want
would
them to
you
start
do
doing that, but I am curious. They probably have. That's probably a Jesse Waters special. Anyway, some details on what will be included. Goals laid out in the letter include reaching net zero greenhouse gas emissions, quote, through a fair and just transition for all communities and workers, creating millions of, quote, good high-wage jobs while ensuring prosperity and economic security for all, and investment in infrastructure and industry. I look forward to a successful infrastructure week. We haven't had one yet in the past couple of years. The resolution will also call for clean air and water, climate resiliency, healthy food, access to nature, and, quote, a sustainable environment for all generations to come. Lastly, the Green New Deal will, quote, promote justice and equity by preventing current and repairing historic oppression to frontline and vulnerable communities. So look, we've covered the details many times, including with environmental activists. We've talked about it with James Cromwell and representative of the Sunrise Movement. But this is a reminder that it is not just about hey, we should have more solar energy. It is much broader than that, and it needs to be to accomplish its task.
Yeah, it's about economic or environmental racism, excuse me, which doesn't get talked about enough, where the communities that are impacted the most are often the poorest, often minorities, and that's why Republicans don't really care, because they can elevate their home on Miami Beach and move or sell their property, but it's going to affect people with the least amount of economic resources the most. And that's what the Green New Deal's set to address.
Yeah. Just really fast, I want to mention, because many will try to imply that she is sort of a wild-eyed idealist on trying to push this, but it's already endorsed by the Sierra Club and Tom Steyer's Next Gen America, as well as the SEIU, the Working Families Party, People's Action, Center for Popular Democracy, Justice First, Green for All, 350.org, Credo Action, as well as the Sunrise Movement and the Justice Democrats. And co-sponsors already include, as you're seeing there, multiple representatives. Also, Senator Ed Markey is going to put forward the Senate version. And you also have some of the people who have already announced they're going to be running for the presidency of Harris and I believe Booker and Gillibrand, as well as
Warren.
Yeah, exactly, have said that they support it. The reason I was starting with them is they have said that they will support it, and we will see what that actually means in practice. And then you have others who support it.
Right.
So let's just clarify that. We will see. We'll continue to check up. Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.